Hello and welcome everybody. All right, today I want to talk about energy, a little bit about the physics of it and Shakti, what's going on. All right, so we're all here, we're all moving around, but we don't, when you really think about it, like when you lift your arm or you shake your head up and down or move any which way, what energy force is driving that? And it's like, well, if you look at physics, it's like, well, objects that are not in motion require opposing energy force or whatever it says. I'm not a physicist, obviously, but basically, nothing just moves. Like a piece of steel is not just going to move. We're moving our hands up and down the way we want to do it when we want to do it. In other words, there's no, to lift your arm, there's not like a little machine with a crane and a bunch of pulleys lifting your arm up and down. It's invisible energy that's doing it. And this is, what I'm always saying, like the energy of God, call it God, the universe, whatever you believe, that the energy flows through us. In other words, is basically animating everything around. That's the energy of God. All the animals that are moving, the energy of God is flowing through to be able to animate all this stuff. Now, on a separate note, like, as humans, we were also given the gift of imagination. So that's where we differ from the animals. Whereas animals are on survival instincts, they're not going to think about, building their own doggy house or all that kind of stuff. Not like a human with an imagination and, be able to manifest or create things in this world or whatnot. So we know that the energy of God is moving through us, and it's also referred to as Shakti or Chi or Prana, just depending where you're at in the world or whatever. But, so the Shakti flows through us, and this is what, goes back to what I'm always talking about, releasing energy as it comes through the day and, accepting the situations that happen in life and all that. And as we're doing this and unblocking, more and more of that Shakti can flow through the blissful energy, that literally carries us and the energy that's making our move or arms move and head move and everything we do. It's like basically at the end of the day, we are the pure conscience energy, that it's almost like we're standing inside of our body, moving which way we want to move, through the light, in other words, and our body responds. And hopefully this helps explain it more, when I'm always talking about the energy runs through us. This will make more sense, hopefully, and all that. But I love y'all and hope this helps. See you on the next one.